At this point, you should have 4 subassemblies. And if you hit this little tile button control thing here, you should be able to see those all in front of you. So in order to proceed, you need to make sure that you have your wheel subassembly, your front subassembly, your middle subassembly, and your back subassembly. Assuming that's all happening, let's go ahead and create the real assembly. So let's go to new and we'll go to standard.iam. Let's maximize that and we'll go to place, and we want to put in the back subassembly. And once again, I'll hit control. We want the front subassembly, middle, and let's see, I think I actually want that one there. And we also want a connector, and we need an additional 1 block socket, and we need an additional 2 block socket. Where is that one? Right there. Hit open and watch all these things go popping in here. There we go. Hit escape so that you just get one set of them. And let's take a look at what we've got. All right. So let's not be overwhelmed with all of this stuff here and start by just focusing on the front section and the middle section. Okay, so if you look at the front section, it has a 2 block socket. So how this works is that every 2 block socket has to be set up to connect with a 1 block socket. So we have our 1 block socket here, and that needs to go into the front of the middle section. So I'm going to go constraint, and let's go to a flush constraint, and we are going to click on this surface and make sure those are flush. And then we're going to go to constraint and put a mate constraint between this edge here, and let's flip things just a little bit so we can see in there, and our second selection will be right there. Hit apply. We also want to make constraint between this edge here. I say edge, but I mean surface. It's just sort of a small surface. Okay, there's lots of things rotating, so it's not rotating on a very tight axis. Our second selection will be this, and hit apply, and now our 1 block socket is stuck in place. All right, so you are going to look now at this little connector. And so this connector has a 1 block side and it has a 2 block side, and you can guess where those guys go. All right, so let's start by, I need to get this back section out of the way because it's just kind of distracting me. So what we can do is, based on how I have things oriented right now, it's actually going to be a little bit easier. I can go to constraint and I can use a flush constraint between this surface and this surface. Hit apply. All right, those two look good there. It's flush. We just need to put some mate constraints. Let's do, and if I recall correctly, these are not going to lay flush very easily. So here's what you're going to do, a little trick here. So if you grab one surface, and I know I've been telling you not to grab edges, but these are not actually completely going to be flush with each other. They're tapered a little bit. So the second one you want to grab is, you actually want to grab one of these red lines at this point. So how about this one right up there? Then hit apply. And then we'll do the same thing here. So if we want to look at it right now, we've got it kind of in there. And unfortunately, it doesn't snap together quite as easily as it maybe should, but that's okay. We can figure out how to do that another day. We'll go to mate. We'll go this surface. And then let's move over just a little bit so we can see the other side. And same thing here. You don't want to actually grab this side because it'll give you an error. Let's try it. Hit apply, and it doesn't like that. So this is why I'm telling you to grab a surface and an edge. So we have the first surface. The second one is going to be Let's do that edge right there. And I think the first surface is unselected, so let's actually reselect that. First one is going to be that surface. So a surface and an edge is what you need there. Hit apply, and that's stuck in there. I think it might be a good idea for us to actually ground this whole middle subassembly. So I'm going to actually look in the browser here, and the middle subassembly, I'm going to right mouse click and ground it here. So I could have grounded it on the work area here, or I could have grounded it here. Either one works. All right, we've got that in place. Now the front can go on the front. And this part is actually real easy. We're going to go to Constraint. Let's start with a mate constraint just between this surface and this surface. Hit apply. How about a flush constraint between the side and side? Hit apply. And then it might be easiest to flip things over, and we have those nice flat bottom areas. And how about we do one more constraint that's another flush between this bottom and this bottom. Hit apply. All right, front is in place. If you were able to follow that, the back is not too much different. We got a lot of the same going on. All right, so we will need to throw in one more connector because we only put in one connector to begin with. So let's throw in one more connector, and I'll go through this part pretty quickly, assuming that you've kind of got the basics of how that all came together. All right, so back subassembly and 2-block socket. Oh no, the 2-block sockets, we've already got a socket in there. We need to put the socket, this 2-block socket, into this opening of the middle subassembly. So we're going to go to Constraint, and we'll start by putting a flush between here and the front surface of the socket. So let's just move things around a little bit. Holy mackerel, where did it go? It's way over here somewhere. Second surface is this surface here. Hit apply. Let's see where everything landed. I don't even know where my socket is anymore. There we go. Uh-oh. What did we do wrong? All right, so if you notice how this is kind of looking backwards, that's something that's going to happen from time to time if you hit flush when you mean mate or vice versa. So notice how this is a mate. Instead of deleting it and redoing it, I'm going to show you how to correct it. So let's go to, just double click on it to get into it, to edit it. And that is not how you do that. How about right mouse click, go to edit. And so it'll bring that back up, and I can still change it at this point. So it was on mate. I did that as a mistake. I hit flush, and we are golden. It's all in a weird place here, but it's flush. Next constraint is going to be this surface, and let's do a little bit of orbiting. Second surface is right here. Apply. And then this guy here, and there we go. Second one is right there. Hit apply. All right, we've got that one in place. Let's throw this one in place. We're going to go, actually, let's put it into the other side because we only need to insert it into one side, and then the rest of it comes together when we actually put the car together. Hope that made a bit of sense. Oh my goodness, everything's in this way here. Okay, this is a good place to start here. So we're looking at the 2-block part, and so we want this lower part to be attached to here. So let's start with a flush constraint between this surface and this surface here. Hit apply. And what happened? I think we're doing good things here. I'm not sure though. What the heck did we just do? Oh, we attached to the back. We're good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. All right, so now let's just like pull it a little bit closer so we can see what we're doing. There we go. Okay, so let's put in a constraint. And remember, when we do the plastic on plastic, it's a little bit tapered, and so it's not going to want to do the surface against the surface. So this is one of the few times that it's actually best to do a surface and then an edge. Whoa, sorry, making you dizzy. So the second one that we want to select is just the edge, just because those plastic on plastic is actually tapered. Then this surface, and let's move this around a little bit. And our second selection will be this edge. Beautiful. Apply. Cancel. We are so close to being done. with this main part of the assembly. Now we are going to figure out that everything is not too far out of where it should be. So we've got that back section. Oh, look at that. We're almost done. Constrain. We go to a flush constraint. Let's start by doing the side and the side. Those guys flush. And how about we go ahead and do a mate? It doesn't matter what order you put these in. How about a mate between this one and second one is going to be this one. Looking good. And let's see what's left to do. It looks like we need to keep it from going up and down. So remove the last degree of freedom. And I like to do the bottoms of them because we got a lot of surface area and we know that they're good and flat. So constrain, one more flush, and that one with that one, hit apply, and I think we have an Automoblox car that's together. And now the fun part comes when we can explode it. All right, there you go, folks.